Welcome into Bobcat Live. Thanks to everybody who came out tonight. Appreciate that, as we're excited to bring you another edition of Bobcat Live. Finally, week number 1 of the high school football season. It is here. It's Mason City. The Riverhawks host your Marshalltown Bobcats. You can watch the game right here on KFJB-TV tomorrow night. But before we get into football, Dylan, Tuesday night we had volleyball, and how about it? They took down Ames on Tuesday night.
Last week. There we go. That is Amaya Moore. First thing she said on Thursday, number 1,
got to take them down. Yeah,
just beat
sure.
Ames.
Yep.
And you could tell a little bit of confidence. Kaylee always elicits a lot of confidence in her, but kind of that coach speak. Amaya was not about coach speak. She was very open and honest that they were going to beat Ames, and this is a very good Bobcat team.
Yeah, a very good team, and we saw the win against Ames on Tuesday night. Thanks so much for watching on youtube.com/@KFJB-TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We had 10 new subscribers after that game, so I appreciate that, Bobcat Nation, for helping support what we're doing.
Nearing that 500 mark, just smashing on that subscribe.
Yep, that is for sure. Hit that tonight and follow along. So anyway, we're at Wayward Social. We are inside due to the heat here today, so we appreciate that. We're inside Rosie's at Wayward Social. Stop by. $5 off a large pizza tonight during Bobcat Live, and also half-price appetizers. And by the way, they said, hey, pizza for the crew and cauliflower crust. Yeah, Zach was immediately offended by my lack of
Lewis
of gluten. It is, but black olive, sausage, and pepperoni. It's probably what my wife. I know she's having some right now. Is
that what you're having?
Krista and the baby are having.
What does Krista eat? And I want to let you know.
Okay.
The only thing that Brandon Lewis hates more than the Ames High School is gluten. He hates gluten. This guy will not do gluten.
That is true.
No go
with
gluten.
To quote Dylan Doze, I am fundamentally opposed to gluten. Although his was polos.
And
now he's wearing polos
polo
all the time. So anyway, hey, football week number 1. It's looking to be a great contest. We have not seen Marshalltown take on Mason City since 2020, and that happened to be our first broadcast ever together. So
that's right. That's how long it's been. We're going into our 4th season, so it's going to be almost a brand new team. I don't know about you, but for Bobcat football fans, this is our Christmas Eve. Those butterflies are in the stomach. Can't wait to see what you get underneath the tree, and really hoping the Bobcats travel well up I-35 and come home with a victory.
Well, you can go 35, but then you got to backtrack. You got to go. There's one thing about Mason City. There is no good way.
Let us go up Highway 14. We'll take a left, and then we'll go some more. We'll hit a county road, and then if you take that gravel road shortcut, and then you get up there, go over by Nyack, take a left, and then you get into town. There's Mean Gene's Pizza against the bowling alley there, not near as good as our bowling alley. Then you have the Lutheran Church on to the right. There's a burrito place and a Hy-Vee to your left. You go across. There's a new high school, and then you get there, and the Bobcats coming home with a win.
Yep.
There we go.
And Hy-Vee gas station is always open for us after the game to grab a drink.
And there's nothing else.
And there's literally nothing else, or you got to go to the other side of town. So
there we go.
All right, with that said, Adam Goodvin and Tate Riang, we'll talk to them coming up next. It's week 1. We'll preview it right here on Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV.
Sign up now for the bowling league at Wayward Social in Marshalltown. So enjoy that like you did so many times in the past. Also enjoy their outdoor patio, Gutter Point patio and bar for lunch, dinner, or your favorite beverages. Daily lunch specials each Tuesday through Friday. Happy hours from 3 to 6 p.m. Also Tuesday through Friday. It's a great place to meet your friends after work. Whether it's bowling, dining, the arcade, or your favorite beverage, Wayward Social is the place for you on South 6th Street in Marshalltown.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Named Marshalltown's best pizza, Zeno's is the place to get delicious homemade pizza from scratch that the whole family will love. For some, it's a family tradition, and Zeno's Pizza is all about old-school family-owned pizza making. Zeno's respects tradition so much that they have had the same thin crust pizza recipe for over 70 years. There are a couple of ways to get your Zeno's Pizza. You can dine in, order online for pickup, or call 641-752-1245. Zeno's Pizza, 109 East Main Street, downtown Marshalltown.
It's Adventure On for Marshalltown Scouting. Adventures like backpacking, ziplining, rock climbing, canoeing, swimming, and more. Survival skills for a Scout's greatest adventure, life. Scouts give back to the community. Marshalltown Scouts have provided over 1 million hours of service to our community in our 70-plus year history. Scout leaders are highly trained in Screen. Parents are a huge part of Scouting, too. Scouting provides unique opportunities available nowhere else. To learn more about Scouting in Marshalltown, go to iascouts.org. Adventure On.
Back in on Bobcat Live from Wayward Social in Marshalltown. Tate Riang is in here with us at Wayward Social, as well as head coach Adam Goodvin, Dylan Doze. I'm Brianna Lewis, and it is week number 1 finally tomorrow night. And Dylan just asked Tate if he was ready to finally hit somebody. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Aside from your teammate. Yeah. As you head into your senior season, I know last year it was kind of one of those things where as the season grew, you got more of a responsibility in the offense. And, you're kind of that 1-2 punch with Ace Holmes last year. What did you learn from Ace? Because he was such a physical player, and he was a great leader as well. I'm sure you learned quite a few things from him.
Well, really, me and him would talk every day about running back. He would help me every night. If I had questions, he would answer them for me, and he just taught me how to be an aggressive back.
Mm-hmm. That physical style, I mean, is that, he came from Georgia, and they are very violent down there playing football. I mean, that had to be kind of cool to see firsthand, right? To see him just executing at a very high level.
Yeah, it just felt good having someone to watch and that knew would take me under his wing and help me when I needed it.
Yeah, that is great.
So Tate, when you describe yourself as a runner, because you do have that home run speed, you're also not afraid to put your shoulder pad right in their sternum. How would you describe yourself as a running back?
Me, I'm more of, I feel like I would like to get loose, try to juke people instead of running into people mostly. But if I need to, I will though.
Yeah. Well said, right, Adam?
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Week number 1 here in Mason City. It's been a few years. 2020 was the last time you guys faced them. In that game is 28-0, Adam, and it's kind of one of those things where you didn't really know to expect. I didn't even know. I remember getting my charts ready, and I don't remember even mentioning Cale Hobart being the starting quarterback, and he came out, ran all over the place. I mean, that's kind of the unknown of week 1, right?
Yeah, it is, and thanks for bringing that up. I had almost completely forgot about that.
Sorry
game,
about that. Yeah,
but yeah. We know who's returning. We know who we've got returning, and a lot of it is a guessing game. So I think that just shows how important it is that we focus on ourselves and make sure that we're ready to play a football game.
Yeah. Last year you guys finished 5-4. I thought you guys really did a nice job down the line, fought through a little bit of adversity kind of early on in the season. But as you guys went throughout the year, I look at that Roosevelt game. That was such a turning point there at the end where, they kind of came back, and then you guys ended up finishing out and getting the victory in that one. You had a huge interception by Caleb Kuzro that helped kind of propel you guys to that victory. So, when you look at last season, the reflection, did you think it was a good growing moment for some of these younger guys who are going to have to step up this year?
Absolutely. It's tough. You look at our starting lineup, and we've got a lot of guys on there on the 2 deep, but it never ends up being just those guys on that paper that play. So we. And I think it all starts in practice, preparing everybody, because you truly never know when it's going to be your time to step up and have to play a big role in either offense or the defensive side of the ball. And I think last year that Roosevelt game specifically was probably one of the funnest games that I've been a part of. Our kids showed a lot of grit in that, and we came out on top. So it was a good experience for our kids.
And we talk about that a little bit, just from the fact that, like, for example, you mentioned the two deeps might change throughout the season. You lost Jackson Bowie to injury, and then he played a little bit of defensive end for you, and obviously the tight end position he was key. But then at defensive end later in the season, we're talking about Lincoln Barker, and he kind of came out of nowhere, but he was a physical player. So it seems like over the years we've seen that. We've seen different guys step up and make plays. You think that's just kind of a blue-collar mentality community, or where does that come from? So it definitely happens a lot where guys are stepping up.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's just guys trusting what we're doing. Right now, a year ago right now, we didn't think guys we didn't know what his role was going to be a year ago. We didn't know what like a guy like Rogelio Seren, what his role was going to be. And guys get their chance and they take hold of it and run with it. And which is kind of funny right now. Who's going to step up this year and be that person. And we kind of got it in our mind who is going to be those top guys, but it'll be interesting to see who stands out.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about Rogelio. He really came in that second half of the season, became a very good cornerback, both on the ball in man coverage and in zone. So you feel good about the defensive backfield, which may be a bit different than last year, but there's still a lot of unknowns. So as you try to put your head on the pillow tonight, you have a matchup with Mason City. Haven't played them since 20. This is a brand new team. What are you most anticipating for tomorrow to get to know a little bit about your team and maybe a little bit more after watching Mason City scrimmage?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, I think the biggest thing that we're going to look for out of our guys is how tough they're going to be. From the get-go, it's going to be hot. We know that. How are we going to be able to go out there and play 4 quarters in the heat? Not just physically too, but we got to be mentally tough and see where we're at and see where we need to improve at in that aspect of the game.
Does it affect play calling, or how much does it affect play calling when you're looking at early in the season? It's a lot hotter, and it's not just that nice dry heat. It's a muggy, wet blanket heat. How does that change how you approach the game from a play caller perspective?
Honestly, not a whole lot. I mean, we got to be aware of our big guys up front, that are playing a lot of football both sides of the ball. But if we feel like they're able and physically able to run the play, then we're going to go for it. So yeah. I mean, that's really the biggest thing.
Yeah. Tate, where do you think your game has developed since last season the most?
At running back for sure. All summer I was working by myself trying to get right. So
what kind of things were you doing?
I would try to, after our OTAs, I would hit the field by myself at least 2 to 3 times after OTAs in that week. So just doing my solo workouts at running back, trying to perfect my craft.
So Tate, when you're looking running backs, that thing, you need a lot of people in front of you making holes. What number and who do you like to have the play called behind? Who do you love to run behind?
Owen.
Yeah, I figured so.
Or Tyrell.
Yeah.
Tyrell, I
yeah.
like too.
Tyrell Frencher, Owen Eaton, obviously guys that are coming back on that starting lineup for the offensive line. I also hear that Xavier Anderson's going to be blocking for you. He joked about that at quarterback, best blocking quarterback in the state. But, with the different pieces, when you're working on crafting your game, that kind of thing, where would you say you're at meshing with your teammates and knowing how to make the reads and knowing where everybody's at? I mean, because that's also the fundamental side of things, right? Learning your plays, trusting your blockers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I would say, we're all friends on and off the field, so we all have chemistry. We hang out all the time. We're talking about how we can execute this game tomorrow, and then we just going to do it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
All right, so who's your favorite running back right now?
In the NFL?
Whatever, whoever you like to watch and keep an eye on.
Deuce Vaughn, you know? Little man. I've been watching him.
He's shorter than everyone else in here. You can't find a shorter person.
Only running back I'm taller than.
My stepdaughter is taller than Deuce Vaughn, that is for sure. I saw C.D. Lamb was giving him a joke. He put little kids' cleats and stuff in there and say, Deuce, you forgot your stuff. But, he's a very physical but shifty runner. I mean, what would you describe your game as? Shifty, speedy?
Yeah, like I say I'm more on the agile side, just because like I wouldn't say I'm that big, but yeah, that's what I would say.
All right, so we talked about running backs, but the DBs, that group's pretty good. I know Coach mentioned that's one of the strong suits. You're going to be on the back end, right? And talk about that group, because those, like Rogelio was another name that got brought up that he improved last year as well. So what do you think about that group?
Well, I think everybody's going to come out tomorrow, and everybody knows their assignment. We're going to all just execute what we need to do and just do what we planned to do.
All right.
So, Tate, one of the things is on that both sides, you may like to run past guys on the offensive side, but that defensive side, you're definitely going to pack a wallop. Watching the DBs a little bit in practice, you guys get coached pretty hard. So looking at coaches on the sideline, they wear the visors, they wear the khakis. Who's the vocal leader on that defensive and offensive side of the ball that kind of is Coach Goodvin but on the field?
Between Coach Furch and Winkler, I would say.
Okay. And is there any players that you look at on the field that they're going to be in your ear, they're going to be the ones that are kind of hyping people up, calling people out?
Corey Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, Corey Smith.
You didn't even hesitate.
He can bring the juice if you need him to.
Yeah, that's awesome. Coach, who's upstairs and who's down on the field for you?
Upstairs, we've got Coach Christensen, Coach Hauser, Coach Bohan, and, gosh, I don't know, I'm drawing a blank.
Brandon and I are happy to put on the Marshalltown
Coach,
polo. You can let us in.
Yeah. So, and everyone else down on the sideline.
Down on the sideline. Have you ever recommended that, like offense or defensive coordinators, is it better for them to be on the field to be able to make those adjustments, or is it better to see the game? I've always been interested on how that decision gets made.
Yeah, I'd love to be up in the box, but I don't think I'm allowed to do that. But I think it just comes down to preference, is all it is, and where guys feel comfortable at, and being able to see the entire field. And I think if you got guys up there that you can trust too, so and that's how we feel. We got guys up there that can give us some good information and stuff that we can use.
Picking up on tendencies and things like that,
exactly.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Fort Dodge has the worst opposing coaches.
Well, yes,
in the box.
we go TVMA when we play Fort Dodge. That is always a fun and colorful vocabulary up there.
Anyway, not to call anybody out. Our coaches, when we see them in the box, they're great. So.
Yeah, always classy.
Hey, Coach, thanks for the time tonight. Best of luck, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Tate Riang, Adam Goodvin, head football coach for Marshalltown Bobcat football. Coming up on Bobcat Live, we are going to continue our football talk, a little strength and conditioning. It's Alan Mann joining us. This is Bobcat Live from Wayward Social in Marshalltown on KFJB-TV.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
There's a city within a city not far from here. This city includes a beautiful apartment building with indoor parking, a chapel, a movie theater, a swimming pool, exercise and recreational facilities, putting greens, and more. This city isn't really a city, but it is a wonderful place to live. Make friends and live your best life. It's the Embers Retirement Community in Marshalltown. The Embers provides security, independence, and companionship. Beautiful grounds outside and lovely studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments inside. See it for yourself. The Embers in Marshalltown.
Pushed out of the pocket. Barker is chasing and can he get to him? Wade throws late over the middle of the field. Is it picked? Do the Bobcats have it? Yeah, they do!
The votes have been tallied and the people have spoken. Central Iowa's home comfort specialist, Honest Heating and Cooling, is honored to have been voted Best of the Best in HVAC by you and the Times-Republican. As a thanks, Honest is offering a 10% off sale, 10% off diagnostics, 10 off tune-ups, 10 off ductwork renovation, 10% off full system upgrades. Offer valid through September. So thanks for voting for Honest Heating and Cooling, where you'll find Amana, America's brand for comfort. Honest.
Since 1967, Jensen Ford Lincoln has served generations of families around central Iowa. Quality vehicles, professional service, knowledge of our product, that's a part of Jensen. But what's more important to us is a trust that is passed down from every generation. Jensen Ford Lincoln wants to serve your family. We want to be there for your first car, we want to be there for your family SUV, and we want to see you drive away in the Mustang you always dreamed of. At Jensen, we want to be here for you now and every mile along the way.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, youtube.com/@KFJB-TV. Get upcoming game alerts. We are at Wayward Social inside Rosie's. Hey, want to remind you, coming up on August 29th, they have their league bowling open house from 5 until 9 o'clock. So you much of a bowler, Coach?
No. I try really, really hard to break 100.
The bumpers, you use them? Or?
I probably should.
We're used to seeing him in his full baseball gear with a hat on and dropping a headset down to him, but he's lucky enough to, I guess we're lucky enough to have you join us here tonight on Bobcat Live. It's Alan Mann. And, strength and conditioning, such a big, pivotal piece. I don't mean to get into this, but, I'm a Colorado Buffalo fan, so I watch all the Prime videos that they do throughout the entire summer. And that's the big thing that they're doing is lifting and trying to improve and setting goals and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's stuff that really gets you prepared for the season. So how was the off season of doing that side of it?
Yeah, it's crazy how much the strength training field has changed in the last even 10 years or 5 years. It's a very pivotal thing to what we do here in the last month or so. We talk about it a lot as a staff, bounce a lot of ideas off of people a lot smarter than myself. We really try and expose our kids to game-like scenarios at least 2, maybe 3 times if we're fortunate. So when we come out tomorrow, we're not shocking our bodies as much as we normally would if we didn't do the things we needed to do.
How do you stay creative? Because I'm sure it can get a little monotonous.
It's really hard, especially with high school kids, because if it's really something that's just repetitive, and you got to do it over and over and over again, but you can lose interest. And just finding different drills, a lot of it through the speed development that we do, different speed drills. We try and time our kids as much as we can, time them, post it, rank it, and then they can have their little competitive arguments amongst each other. So that's how we try and make it fun. We do tag games as well. And then in a weight room setting, it's just kind of what we do right now. So I could probably improve in that area a little bit to keep things interesting, but mainly we just switch it up through our speed development.
And so I know last year we talked a lot about David Santa Cruz was a vocal leader, a weight room leader. Who is that leader this year?
We're still looking for him. We have a lot of kids that do a really nice job. That senior class last year was one of the better weight room groups that we've had in a while. And we're kind of resetting a little bit where we have a lot of kids that are new to the room and new to training. To pick a couple out, Tate would probably be at the top of that list of leading guys into the room, and Corey does a really nice job. They both move well in the weight room. I see them help out younger guys when it's needed. But we're new to that thing here still. So we got to get that, improved upon here in the next, month or so.
And when you're looking at that, you say you're looking at, you see it in Tate, you see it in Corey. Is that something where you just identify somebody that's working hard in the gym, helping out, and you kind of tap them on the shoulders, say, hey, can you kind of expand your leadership? Or is that something you're just looking at, they're naturally doing it, and you just allow them to go?
We do try and teach leadership skills. We have leadership lessons. We haven't done it as much here recently as we had in the past, but we'll pick those up, especially since school has started. We do have a segment during the school day where we can pull kids in, and we have specific lessons to help teach them different traits and strategies on how to interact with each other and become a better leader. And there's a lot of ways to go about it. So, Sure, there's some kids that are naturally drawn to that type of role, but it's a trait that you can teach to anybody, and we're still trying to work on that. And I'm excited, to kind of see who may flourish in that type of role here going forward. As
you look at coming into the season, there's guys you worked with on the baseball side of things, guys like Caleb Kuzaro, that type of thing. And then obviously you go to the pass as well, and you alluded to some of the guys that were mainstays. And Nick Rebick, kind of pops out to me, that kind of thing. I mean, it's hard to replace those people because they're such an integral part of what you do. But I think what guys like that were so good at, like Nick was, is passing what he knows on to the younger and hoping that it sticks, and then they pass it on, and it just kind of a chain reaction, right?
Absolutely. We miss those types of guys that help out those young guys. But the exciting thing about that is Nick will pass something down to, like, say, Caleb, but then Caleb can make it his own thing, and he can be his own style of leader. So that's the exciting thing to watch here as this school year progresses, is to see what those kids learn from their peers last year or the past couple years, and how they turn it and make it a little twist into how they can be their own leader and the best version of themselves.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So now you've had that summer, you've had fall camp, and you're a little bit what they say, the hay's in the barn a little bit. How does your approach as a strength and conditioning coach move to now it's week 1? And the weather's been crazy, school has started. How do you shift, and what does this week look like for you?
Well, this week we took something that's very hard for me to do. We didn't lift once this week, just because of the new school schedule, with the uniqueness of, the weather that we're going through, and we're practicing late at night. What's best for kids this week is for them to, take care of themselves, go home, eat, hydrate, and go to bed. That's probably the best thing that, we can do at this very moment, so they play their best football Friday. But going forward, we've collected data throughout the summer months and here during this preseason, where we now have a baseline of where everybody's at physically. So as next week rolls around, we'll do a couple things. We'll jump, we'll sprint a little bit, and if numbers dip way down, then I need to adjust something from a programming standpoint to make sure we're playing our best football on Friday. So whether that be we up the intensity, so that's higher weight, less reps, or maybe we need to take some weight off the bar and still keep the reps down a little bit if we're worn out. And that's kind of where we need to look week by week.
One quick follow-up, and you talked about hydration. Last year we noticed there was a couple games, especially early, there was a lot of struggling with cramping. So how do you go into tomorrow? Specifically, it's going to be hot. What are you looking at from your athletes to stay hydrated to be ready to go tomorrow?
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to how we practice. So the hydrating part, a lot of that ownership falls on the kids. But what can we do as a coaching staff to prepare them physically? And we try and we call it lactate periods, to try and elevate their heart rate as high as we can for as long as we can to simulate what a game night scenario would kind of mimic. And we've been able to do that twice. So hopefully, that has exposed their bodies enough to what that physical impact and the physical demand of the game would be, to where we don't see that as much tomorrow. Now, it's not going to be easy, as it's supposed to be warm, because that's something you don't really factor in.
You can't control. No. Yeah, a little bit. At football practice, are you the one that gets to blow the whistle and be the strength and conditioning part of things?
Yeah, I am, but I'm not like.
You take a lot of joy in that?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not like the guys you see on Instagram or Twitter where I'll be sleeveless and doing my own thing. I'm a little more reserved that way, but yeah, I guess I get to blow the whistle a couple times.
Okay, all right. What's your favorite conditioning drill? Is it like 20 and back and 40 and back and gassers or whatever they're called?
I don't know if I really have a favorite conditioning drill. My favorite, I guess, we do a drill called a 26-second drill, where they need to sprint as far as they can in 26 seconds. So it's also, you're training some speed development as well. Instead of just running like gassers where kids go at like 90%, we make it a little competitive. So you got 23 seconds. If you get to 160 yards, do it twice, average it out. So-and-so was first, second, third, based off of how far they were able to run. That's probably my favorite.
See, I
conditioning
like
drill
that
to do.
drill a lot better than what we had to do. Everybody on the team lined up in a huge circle, and then the person next to you got up, ran over you, and then you had to go over everybody else. And then if you just didn't get to the next spot, you just kept running.
Yeah.
And, of course, all the big guys like me were getting passed by all the running backs, and I was out there running and running and running.
You know, I think we should probably have you guys out, and you can lead us through that drill, and you can lead by example.
All I know is I'm passing Dylan.
No, that ain't happening. We'll wait till October. Then. We'll wait till October.
Playoff week.
Yeah, that's for sure. Real quick, last question for you. Do you deal with, I'm sure you and Adam kind of deal with some of the scouting of the opponents. I guess what's your assessment of Mason City and what you guys are looking to do against them?
Sure. They're going to be very solid. They're young, a lot like us, but in different positions. They return some experience on the defensive and offensive lines. Their linebackers are both seniors, and they both scrape and they move really, really well. So that's a little concerning. But the guys on the back end are all sophomores, I believe, so they're playing first varsity experience. So that's about all we really have for now. We'll take a couple drives to figure things out, and hopefully we get things figured out a little quicker than they do.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's Marshalltown at Mason City. 6:30 pregame, 7:30 kickoff here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
How can you help Marshalltown High School and enjoy a mouth-watering burger at the same time? By ordering the Bobcat Burger at Legends American Grill. 2 quarter-pound patties with crisp bacon strips, sautéed onions, and melted American cheddar, jack, and Swiss cheeses on top of fresh shredded lettuce on a toasted bun. It's absolutely delicious. $1 from every Bobcat Burger sold is donated by Legends to Marshalltown High School activities. So, enjoy a Bobcat Burger and help MHS. The Bobcat Burger, another exclusive from Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
The equity in your home is power. Power to remodel your home. Take a memorable vacation. Add a deck or patio. Lennox Employees Credit Union can help you unleash the financial power you possess with a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, fund a student loan, or pay for a wedding. The loan process is easy. See Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Online at lennoxecu.com. Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to marshalltown.org.
Like to work with your hands? Enjoy the satisfaction of building something that lasts and knowing you played a part in it. If so, Marshalltown Community College's construction program might be just right for you. This hands-on program is great training for a real-world job. Call or stop in to Marshalltown Community College to learn more. Fall term classes start August 28th.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV. Welcome in, Drew Anderson. He's the Commissioner.
Yep.
No commish?
I like that commish better.
Hey, thanks for coming in. I'll have you move that mic a little bit closer to you. Thanks so much for coming in. MFL, Marshalltown Football League, such an integral part. We've talked to so many players on Bobcat Live at the high school level, and they talk about their days in the MFL. So, I mean, it's definitely a building block for 1st through 6th grade, right?
Yes, it is. It's very important. We try to improve on fundamentals and keeping the kids happy and having fun, but most of all, safety, proper techniques of tackling, all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's so interesting because, I mean, it's, like you kind of alluded to, a building block for as these players get older, and it's kind of like anything. Once you learn it when you're young, if it's a bad habit or a good habit, you know, regardless. And so it's a great opportunity that you guys have to kind of start off early and and get them used to the whole aspect. Because football, regardless of what you say, I mean, it's the ultimate team sport. You know, I mean, you're learning to play and count and be reliable on other players. So I'm sure that's something you take into account when you're making coaching decisions and scheduling and all that kind of stuff. Is, you know, what's going to be best for the kids, right?
That's correct. We have very good coaches, all volunteer coaches. Same coaches you see out in baseball, basketball. They all volunteer. They're very well knowledge in the game of football. We try to really go off what Coach Adam does for the high school team, try to implement that at the young level.
And that is one thing we've seen a lot of. We've seen the high school level. They see them volunteering, some reffing, some even coaching. As you look forward to this year, what are you most excited for as a commissioner as you look forward to this season?
This is my first year. I'm really excited to see the young kids grow. We usually have a lot of high school Bobcat football players come out and volunteer, like you said, for reffing. The young players actually really looking forward to that, and they look up to them, and they get inspired to try even harder. And then the football players out there reffing, and you can see them out there help coaching and mentoring the young players.
So as you look into your first year being the commissioner, what was it, what made that decision for you to say, yes, I'm going to step into this role?
What made me decide, I grew up in this community. I started off with playing MFL, went all the way up to MHS, played football throughout my life, and then finally have an opportunity to give back to the community. So that's what drove me towards it.
You know, we talk with other coaches too about the importance of having a relationship with the youth, because eventually they feed the high school, you know, that kind of thing. How important do you think it is to have youth sports and that importance of that Bobcat pride early on?
It's very important. I believe learning from a young age, learning being part of the team, discipline, correct fundamentals. It's very important, and teaching them at a young age so they don't have the bad techniques and they keep learning the correct techniques. So when they get to the more competitive level, they're ready to go. If
you've never been down to the football fields where the MFL plays on a Saturday, I mean, you smell the grill going. The fields are packed, all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool atmosphere.
It is. It's a very good atmosphere to be at. A lot of grandparents, parents are out there. We got a grill going. Good hot dogs, good brats, good burgers. This year I'm trying to pull out some smoked belly that I'm going to get from JBS and smoke it myself.
Oh, wow.
And try to get something else going on live there. Try to live it up.
So not only are you looking to elevate that level of football, let's elevate that level of food. It was fun because my boys are now out of that MFL age. I know Deegan just graduated out of that MFL age. I was happy. We've got friends just got their kids' scheduled, so we still get to go out and be a part of those festivities, because it is kind of a rite of passage for decades. I think it was 50 plus years now, and that's a really great opportunity. And really, just from a community side, you know, stepping up, how much we appreciate yourself stepping up into that commissioner role and continuing to bring that Bobcat pride and that energy to it.
Practices already underway. When do games start?
Game starts September 10th. We're doing Saturday, so nobody can miss the Cyhawk game. That's very important to the state.
Yes, that is for sure.
After that, be every Saturday, and then except Oktoberfest, another Sunday game, so nobody can miss Oktoberfest.
Awesome.
The board decided to be a good field so everybody can join the cultural events.
I will rubber stamp that. I have spent some years sprinting from the parade to the football field back and forth. Just separating them is much better.
Oh, I thought you were going to say sprinting back to check on the Iowa State score.
No, I have watched many of Iowa games on my phone sitting at the MFL fields.
Of course, how can people get involved and help out?
We're looking for a lot of communities, ownership to help sponsor for more equipment. This next couple of years, we've been going through a lot of outdated equipment, so looking forward to help boosting that equipment. Stepping out, if we need help with the fields, I do a lot of volunteer time, mowing, watering, before the season even begins. But just coming out, if you want to volunteer for construction stands, that's even helps out a lot. Stuffing on the grill, I like grilling, but somebody else wants to jump in, throw on the grill.
I think you like smoking meat better.
I do.
Yeah.
I do like smoking meat. So.
How is the turnout this year for kids?
We got about 250 kids this year. We got from Meskwaki, Bonnarant, Linville, Soley, East Marshall, Marshalltown community, all joining this year.
Yeah, good to hear. anything else you want to make sure you get out there for the MFL season coming up?
I just want to say thank you to Tim Holmgren. He's been a mentor. He was the commissioner for the last few years, been a really good mentor. And especially my wife, she's secretary. She's been keeping me in check. So
yeah. So always,
that's why we get married.
Hey, thanks so much for coming on Bobcat Live. We appreciate it. As Drew Anderson with us, the new commissioner of the MFL. Hey, be sure to check them out, help out, support youth activities. Very important to get involved and help build that Bobcat pride, that is for sure. This is Bobcat Live from Wayward Social inside Rosie's on KFJB-TV.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress has your mattress. Every firmness, comfort, and support level, each at a great price. Make the investment today for a good night's sleep for years to come. McGregor's also has quality furniture for every room in your home. Beautiful, comfortable sofas, recliners, dinette sets, and office furniture to help you work and relax in comfort and style. McGregor's Furniture is proud to bring you quality furniture and great service, and they are proud to support Bobcat Athletics. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
There's nothing like enjoying a bicycle ride on Lynn Creek Trail. The ride gets even better when you take a break at Wandering Creek Golf Club. No, not to golf, but to enjoy your favorite cold beverage. Wandering Creek Golf Club in Marshalltown is known for its premier golf course and its 2 full-swing simulators. But did you know it's right off the bike trail next to Grimes Farm? It's the perfect place to stop to relax under the pergola and enjoy a drink with friends. Travel the trails of Marshall County, but make Wandering Creek your destination.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problems. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live from Wayward Social in Marshalltown. Brandon Lewis still in dose, and now joined by Activities Director for Marshalltown High School, Ryan Isgrig. Ryan, I noticed up there at the school today, the video board is going up. It's looking good.
Field of Dreams. It's awesome. Yeah. I walked down there a little bit, and, we're not really supposed to go down there. You have to have a hard hat on and all that. So I was waiting for our building and grounds guy, Chuck, to come out of the woods and yell at me, but I had to get a little shot at the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just have to. It looks awesome. And for my office, the track looks purple, but you get close, it's blue. It's really blue. The color of my shirt. So it's starting to pop. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I noticed they got that blue track down. So a really cool thing. Of course, new stands, new press box, new opposing stands, new lights. I mean, the whole thing. Plus a new ticket booth I noticed as well. That looks really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've integrated online tickets this year. We tried it out the other night, the volleyball night, or volleyball and swimming the other night at home, and I think it went okay. So starting to move in that direction. We'll still offer cash, but kind of speeds things up too. If you have the online tickets, you don't have to wait in line as much, things like that. So we're really excited for everything this fall.
Great crowd for volleyball, I thought, the other night. With Ames in town, obviously a big game, got the big win. Golf's been off to a really good start for the boys. It's been a good fall season, and it's just getting underway this week.
Yeah, I agree. Volleyball team, amazing win the other night. Ames beat us twice last year in the opener, and then they got us in the regional playoffs. So I know it was one the girls really had on their schedule circled, and to get them in 5, it was a long night of volleyball. So winning made it a lot better.
It did, yeah, that is for sure.
Yeah. And there's no such thing as a bad win against Ames, so that's always a big deal.
Absolutely.
But thinking from your perspective, Ryan, as being in your role for a handful of years, you've got to see a lot of cool things from athletic facilities to upgrades even in the performing arts. But there is something I think I like to drive by the Progress about 3-4 times a week. But in your perspective, in your role, what does it mean to you to be a part of something like what's happening down at the football field?
Yeah, on a personal level, it's been very rewarding, of course, just to be part of that and all the progress. But the most rewarding part, I think, still yet to come for that facility to be used, because our coaches and our kids and the entire community deserves that facility. So I'm really excited for it. And, next Friday we're having our ribbon cutting, and in a way I'm really ready for it to be done. But the best is still yet to come.
Yeah. And still to come is, I know you got the grant approved for the new facility, which we've mentioned before, but on the west side of the facility, you'll get new locker rooms. It'll double as a tornado shelter. And I believe is a concession stand in there too, a new concession stand?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
that'll be
that's
awesome.
still
to
come.
Yeah, and hopefully, there's still a lot of work to be done. Thanks for bringing that up. So, with that, we had a meeting today on it, and, it could be looking to break ground sometime this spring on that. So
okay.
That'll be really exciting to be part of that, and really really good for our team, the visiting team, athletic trainers, officials, and new concession stand as well. Bathrooms, we really needed those still.
Yep.
So, yep.
Amen. No, it's funny coming in.
I like the troughs.
Yeah. Reminds me of the Metrodome.
Yeah.
But looking at it, one in my real life job being tourism director here in Marshalltown, is a lot of times I'll do community tours, maybe somebody being recruited from one of our employers, but going by the high school to the person, the amount of investment we make in our kids and our community, that makes a big difference outside of when people say, hey, why do we need a new football field? Why do we need to do this or that? It's in those moments where people really can see it. And I've been lucky enough, I've been able to get to work with you in that side of the job as well, and get to learn more and more about what the school district is doing. Today there was a cancellation of the early Bobcat invite, but September 7th, even before that first home game, there's a lot of people coming to Marshalltown. Can you tell us a little bit about the Bobcat invite?
Yeah, absolutely. Cross country is just it's a really fun event to if you've never been to a meet. So our course it's really unique. It's out at Marshalltown Community College. I think it's a love-hate. It's challenging. The runners like it. The coaches like it. In a week we'll have 25 schools here from all over the state, over 2,100 runners to be part of that, and the top 14 teams or whatever are ranked there. So it's almost like a mini state meet, and I think we'd like to even put ourselves in a position to maybe host a state meet one day, but I think we definitely have the capability to do that, and overall that meet is it's a lot of fun. We're also going to host state qualifying in October as well for the 5th year in a row.
So I don't want to sprint by that number, 2,100. That's not 2,100 attendees. That's 2,100 runners.
Yes.
And you say a mini state meet. It's not mini because it's smaller amount of runners. It's actually larger than the state meet. Is that true?
That is true. Yeah, we'll have more runners here, and you're exactly right. And of course all the parents that come. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people that come to Marshalltown for that. And we work well with MCC, Ryan Fleck, their AD, to try and pull that off this year again with improved parking, things like that. So we've already been in conversation about that. And yeah, as soon as the starting block goes off, you just see a sea of people just run to all over the course to try and catch up to the runners. So it's a really fun event.
What's it take to get something like that?
For the state?
Yeah,
the
I
state
mean,
meet?
a lot of investment, a lot of meetings, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we just kind of started that process, and met with Dylan in that regard too, and it's I think it's going to be some work, but we definitely have the facility to do it, and regardless if we get it or not, it's we still have one of the best courses in the state.
Obviously we've touched on a little bit of that, but football starting this Friday night, and then on the road week number 2, and then people will be able to come in week number 3 and see exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. There's still some work to be done. We need to get trained on the new scoreboard and things like that. But we'll welcome Davenport North, opponent we're not really that familiar with, too. So it'll be kind of cool to see the new facility, a new opponent, and I expect a really, really big crowd that night. So
yeah, that is for sure.
We're looking forward to it.
That is for sure. At this time of year, it's kind of a culmination. Are you putting schedules together during the summer and all that kind of stuff? I know sometimes some other schedules get configured in the spring, like football and that kind of thing. But what kind of goes in on the off season as far as that goes? And I know you're probably also keeping track of baseball and softball and all that kind of stuff in the summer.
Yeah, I get asked the question a lot. You slow down a little in the summer, and my answer is no. My June's just as busy as April. And we have 5 levels of baseball and softball going on. We have the golf fundraiser. But yeah, there is some time too to get caught up and start working about a year ahead. That's what you want to do with schedules, trying about a year in advance. And of course, July, things slow down just a little bit, but you can't get too comfortable because fall's right around the corner. So yeah, I mean, there's always things to do, and that's one great thing about being in my position is just the amount of work behind the scenes to make a difference, whether it be a kid, a coach, the community. So yeah, there's a lot of off-season stuff going on, and we're already looking at summer and spring stuff right now.
Yeah. Last question for you, as everything gets going here. The thankless hours that obviously I know you guys do, but also the coaches, and just kind of speak about the coaching staffs that you have put together, and I'm sure you have to because we get the impression a lot of really good coaches in Marshalltown School District.
Yeah, absolutely. You spoke to a couple today, and one's wife is here as well with us. She's on our volleyball staff, Coach Mann's wife, Tessa. So, yeah, I mean, we have great coaches to work with, and this was kind of the first year that I could go into a year and not have to worry about hiring a head coach. So that's been nice too. So. I think, we still have some assistant coaching positions to fill, but, the good news is that whatever assistant comes in is going to have a really good head coach to work with and to learn from. So, yeah, we have some really good coaches here, and, I think the most important thing is they're always looking to get better and improve their programs. And, like we've talked about the new facility, I'm so looking forward to our coaches to be out there to get our programs to grow even more.
Yeah, and you can feel that growth. I mean, I was really, really impressed by Jason Bowers in his first year that he did with softball. I mean, Alan did a tremendous job kind of in that interim role this year with baseball, but then you look at the direction that Kaylee Pashong is going with volleyball, and then, I look at Brian Murphy. He's really stuck in there and stayed positive through, I know what's been, a little bit hard at times with the girls basketball program, but you can feel the momentum changing there. And of course, having a guy like Mike Apple in the basketball program and Luke Cross, and I could go up and down the line, but I'm sure, yeah, you probably sleep a little bit better knowing that the programs are in good hands.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great coaches and some really good middle school coaches as well, too, that, our head coaches have played a really good role to take, just to make sure our middle school coaches are, the position's filled, and we have coaches that are going to, do the same things that they are as a head coach.
Yeah, and speaking of middle school, I think it's really cool that, and we talked about this with Adam Goodvin last week, that, coming back from playing center last year, and now he's on the coaching staff at the middle school level, seeing Now I'm blinking.
Nick Lucas.
Yeah. Seeing him come back and get back to the community, I mean, I think that speaks volumes too.
Anytime you can get a former Bobcat in a coaching position, it definitely puts us in a good spot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's for sure. Hey, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. Coverage has been great. I'll be at the game tomorrow night, and thanks to Wayward for having us. So.
Okay. All right. You'll be trying to find some sort of air conditioning tomorrow, right?
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely.
Ryan Isgrig, AD for Marshalltown Schools. For Dylan Does, I'm Brandon Lewis. Our producer tonight, Zach Tomish, as well as we've got some of the Zach, you got to go on the other camera here, all right? We've got wave to the camera, everybody. Nice crowd out here. We've got some of the Kicks and KFJB crew out here. So anyway, thanks so much for joining us. You've been watching Bobcat Live from Wayward Social in Marshalltown right here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.